Hey, my name is Frank Perfetto, and this is Inflammatory Sentiments. I hope you enjoy. Racial injustices, waiting on decisions from Supreme Court justices, joining fraternities, but they've been racist for eternities. 2015 ain't quite what it seemed. We all need to wake up out of this dream, realize the cause of this team, face the realities of the scene. I'm a straight white male in America who grew up in a world of utopia. Racial disparities were void until my sheltered world deployed. Life wasn't as I dreamed, and I realized it wasn't as it seemed, and I'm bursting at the seams because of this fucking deflating dream. A couple bad apples got spoiled a whole bunch, but you got a hunch. We got our white privilege and we take it to brunch. Bestowed upon birth, but it ain't what it worth. Just want justice and peace, but the black man getting shot in the street with his hands up by the racist police. And the fake investigation, the DA lying through their teeth. Man, we just want some peace in the land of the brave and the free. Politicians playing all these games, but no one's having fun. I'm a white man waiting for progress that I can't say for sure when that day is gonna come. But I must digress. Watching CNN inflammatory sentiments, stopping smart discussion just to start pushing their ratings on the rise. Under the guise of good, honest reporting, man, don't get me started on the successes earned and never given. Determined, motivated, and livid. It seems impossible to break this man's ambition, but he didn't get the job because his skin and hair are different. And now he's tinted. Life changed quickly when I met this kid Wesley. When we first met, I swear I thought God was trying to test me. Brothers bounded by love, no skin or blood relation. Yeah, I was his tutor, but that kid also taught me. He was different from unknown, yet completed the parts and sewn. He taught me that life was not fair and that our worlds could never compare. And quite honestly, it made me a little scared for the life that he had to bear. Reality in his world was not different from many. Leaders lacking pity in this historically black city. From the many people in his district with the leaders who hone in as the critic, because crime in the street is so goddamn prolific. It's time for them to get off their ass and get the education bills to pass. It's hard to get over the slump when the government has a big hump. There doesn't seem to be any movement, so the progress lacks any improvement. I gotta be honest, and I really hate to admit it, but when I was 17 years old, I got my dumb ass arrested. I was involved with a hit and run, lied to the cops when being questioned. It's always best to tell the truth, and I swear to God I've learned my lesson. But this little experience taught me a lot about the policing and racism. Because when Wes was arrested about a full year after me, he was aggressively cuffed and forced to the ground on his knees. They lied in the report and said he was resisting arrest against the black man's word ain't shit to the man, the badge, and the vest. And when I first heard about this, I was in shock and disbelief. I figured, how could those who live to serve and protect leave so many uncomfortable in the streets? Life is so simple until you get older. Start looking over your shoulder because it seems the only motive of the police is to screw you over. Parents warn their kids about the realities of systemic racism, and the reality is that racism is still here living. I turn on the TV and can't believe what the news says. Another young black male murdered by a white cop, and you can't help but to think, when the fuck does it all stop? Racism in this world, we call this a free world. Injustice is everywhere, so we say fuck the free world. There's no one specific point to start this quest to end injustice. White cops are left complaining, saying, it's not our fault they don't trust us. Well, I got some big old news for you boys in blue. If a change is gonna come, realize the first step starts with you. And it doesn't stop here, not for a second. One of the biggest problems in America is inequality in public education. The system is outdated, racist in nature because it was rooted in segregation. Underfunded and government regulated, so they can't afford new books and the lack of quality teacher selection. Man, they aren't even educated. Now, education and justice are real for those under the government's heel, lacking the basics at best for those who stand out as oppressed. Though poverty lives among all races, our black brothers struggle from the basis. It's hard for them to rise to the top when others are kicking them in the butt. Now, Wes has taught me more than just a thing or two. You would have never guessed the man that he turned into. Coming from an underfunded public city school, he had no idea what he was about to get his ass into. Entering a private world of privilege and confinement, needing help on just a simple assignment. It wasn't long until he found his own way, a completely different man than the Wes I met the first. Education is where this all truly starts. But black kids are getting kicked out of school, and it's not all their fault. At a young age, they are expelled instead of reprimanded and taught. I wish I could say the system is equal, but honestly, I cannot. Access to the same resources? Yeah, right, forget it. The government has the money, they just don't want to spend it. And now you wonder why. Why is all this negativity and violence? Well, if kids weren't expelled, they would spend more time with their heads in their books, pursuing their dreams rather than committing crimes with the crooks. Predominantly black neighborhoods have been left to rot. With no money to spare, man, how could they not? We need to find solutions. The answers have to be sought. Something has to be done. It's a vicious cycle of poverty and ignorance passed on to their youth like a looming debt inheritance. Enough of all this shit. My name is Frankie, and it's a pleasure to meet you. Let's smoke some bud and talk about life so that we can come together and understand each other's strife.